Okay. That was the long extension of that particular song. So it is July 4th, and we are Boogie with the Bow.
We
Take it
are.
away, Dave.
We are. Good morning. We're live on the Rental Roads page because we ran into one of these days we'll get it right at the beginning. It is the 249th birthday of the United States of America. So happy birthday to the country. And we just popped in for a little bit to share some things on July 4th with you. It's Red Shirt Friday, so I'm going to turn it over to Randy and let him talk about that.
Well, there is some conversation, dissertation, argument, whatever the heck you want to call it. Uh, uh, Trump, in all his wisdom, wants to give credit where credit is due, and he has a tendency to, bring people to the White House. Hey, I'm going to show off the White House to these people. At the same time, I'm going to give them some, face with the TV, and people will know who they are and love them and endure them. But what he probably doesn't realize is that he wants to bring these B-2 bombers and the F-35 fighter pilots and the crews and so forth to the White House to show them respect and honor for what they did. Unfortunately, the B-2 bomber pilots are supposed to be kept private. No one's supposed to know who they are for obvious reasons. Um, to keep that plane secret, to keep them secret, to keep them from being kidnapped and sent to Russia or to China or somewhere, and to divulge all the secrets of the plane. So I'm not sure how he's going to pull it off. But he's intent on them coming to the White House. Perhaps it's going to be one of those things where he shows them around, but there's no cameras. But you know damn well someone's going to have a cell phone. Someone's going to have some type of camera that's going to capture their images and is going to spread it across the World Wide Web. So we'll see what happens with that. He is also going to have a wrestling match on the grounds of the White House. WWFA or where the hell those letters are. But he's going to, I guess he's creating a stadium to hold like 25,000 people. He's going to have all these guys there. Um, you know, uh, President Trump and all his good and his bads, he so much wants. I believe my personal belief is that he so much wants to be a king, and he's trying to turn his White House into like a castle. Like the English have, because he's bringing all this gold glitter stuff in, all these decorations that are gold. I'm not sure if this real gold or this fake paint gold. It looks like it's real gold, but I think he's trying to make all this stuff look like it's fancy and it's expensive and it's all this good stuff, and we have our castle and so forth. But we'll never have a castle. Um, Give me 1 second. We are live on my profiles.
Are we live?
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask, where are we live?
We are live on Colonel Randall Roads. We are live on um, uh, uh, All Roads Lead Home Genealogy. We're live on my Confederate stuff, Southern Interest Association. We're live on.
Try all roads and see if it's showing there, because on the other two, it's not showing.
Yeah. It's just easier to get started. Give us one moment, folks, so we can let you know we're all
Yeah, I just want to.
Okay, so we are on All Roads Lead Home Genealogy.
Yep, we are. Yep.
We are.
All roads lead to home genealogy page this morning. We're not live on my profile. So
let me see. Tell you what, once you chit chat, let me see if I can scooch this over. Yep. Like I said, for some reason I can't find you on my stuff. I got to switch over to my wife's profile so I can see you.
All right.
So you chit chat for a little bit while I do this.
Chit chat for a little bit. Like I said, it is the 249th birthday of the United States of America. We are here. It is Boogie with the Bull. We are normally live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We didn't know if there were going to be a whole lot of people here on to see us. We had technical problems again with Restream trying to get it to link, or Randy's link to work the way it was supposed to work. So we'll have to address that at a later time and date. Anyone is welcome to come and join us and be involved. Hang on just a second. Let me type something.
Okay, I just sent it to your messenger. I think
Okay.
I think that's what we did last time. So I think you can share it from there.
All right. Okay.
You got it?
You talk for a minute. No, I don't see it. Hang on. Let me open it up. There it is. No, come on. There it is. That's the
Okay.
link that I want.
Okay. See if you can change, search that thing around for you, buddy. So, anyways, so I truly believe he would love to have our government, our federal buildings look fancier. I mean, he goes to like Saudi Arabia and places like that, and here they are with their white stallions. You got their men in the medieval clothing, and they got the spears and the swords, and uh, they put on a hell of a show. Um, uh, Now, does their military fight as well as ours do? No. We have the best and the best. I mean, the weapons, the weaponry that President Trump, just with that big, beautiful bill, he was able to pass billions of dollars to go towards the military to provide them with all the good stuff they need to fight and actually win a war. Again, we have not really truly been in a war for a long time, and that's not a bad thing, folks. It really isn't. However, to me personally, it could be an encumbrance to whether or not how would we do in a real world war with boots on the ground. You know, obviously we have the planes, we have the bombers, we have the SpaceX stuff, we have all the stuff in outer space that can shoot down beams of light and energy and destroy shit. So we can fight from that aspect. But when it comes to actually boots on the ground, man against man, we haven't had that, and I don't want it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see that. But you know, our soldiers are constantly in combat mode training, especially right now with Pete Hegseth. He wants to make sure that if we ever had to go to war, boots on the ground, that our men and women, primarily men, are fit for duty and will be able to fight the good fight and come out on top. Um, our military is in the process of being changed. We're removing certain aspects of it that the Biden administration allows to sneak in. So that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. We want to make sure that when these men and women go into a combat situation, that they have the ability to the stamina, the strength, the intelligence, the ability to fight uh, battle on the ground. Um, we are seeing, hopefully, our generals are learning from the war with Ukraine and Russia, especially Ukraine, since we're giving them the best of our stuff. Okay. Unfortunately, they probably haven't got the training, the months, the years, or whatever of training that our people go through to fully make use of that equipment. You know, we're giving them, here it is, here's a key, go fight, uh, and they're making a mess.
Well,
Our
go ahead.
I was just saying, our M1 Abrams tanks are supposed to be the best of the best, and they're losing them to Russian armor.
Right.
Uh,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I think
I
we
need.
should pull out of Ukraine, period. I think we should pull it all out of Ukraine. It's backing a war that we know is not going to win. They're gonna probably lose to the Russians. So our best bet is to pull out and just let that happen. Stop sending war money, stop sending war machinery, stop allowing war machinery to be used by people who don't know how to use it. And if it isn't even that, it's we may end up in a situation where we needed to defend ourselves. And I think this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think we need to be able to defend ourselves at this point. We don't want to lose a war to Russia. I don't think we will lose a war to Russia, but we need to defend our allies. And yes, Ukraine is an ally, but for 20 years they've been fighting this war, and it doesn't look like they would win anyway. And it's just becoming another Afghanistan, and we need to pull out politely and go about our business. And our business is going to be working something with Iran. And everybody has heard that the Ayatollah and President Trump are no longer talking, and that we're in a holy fatwa, which means that the order to go after Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and President Trump, the President of the United States. Those orders have been given, and until the Ayatollah says, "Never mind," it's a war. It's a war. It's an official war. Congress will give him the order of or declaration of war if he so much wants it, and I won't be anywhere near Iran when it happens. I'm sorry, I just don't want to be anywhere near Iran when it happens. It will be quick, hopefully, and it will be done quickly, and hopefully it will not involve casualties, but this is a war and casualties happen, and I can't give you an answer. The war industrial complex is probably very happy because they're selling all kinds of machinery to both sides or all three sides in this war. But you know what? War is war, and if you want war, fine. Let's just get it over and get it done with, and do like we did in Japan. We dropped bombs, we destroyed Japan, we went in, we rebuilt Japan, and this time around we know to watch the loser and make sure that they're never in any position again to do this or threaten this again, like the same thing we did with Nazi Germany. Make sure that they're not in a position to continue war. You know, that's all I can say. Go ahead, Randy.
What I'm doing, I'm bringing up the various screens where we're at so we can try and keep track of any comments that might come across.
Yep.
Let's see where we're at here. I did see that we got 41 views
Oh, good.
thus far on my genealogy page.
Yep. I'm on your genealogy page. That's the page that I put the post up and the link up and asked anyone to come join us over there. I know technology is fantastic, and I overreact every time something goes wrong, and I apologize to that. I apologize to my wife who had to sit here and see me do it while we were trying to go live.
Yes.
If we
Okay, there's
do it,
that.
the studio would be at the far end of the mansion or in the garage, and I wouldn't be in anybody's hair other than pulling my hair out what little I have left.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you're on and you're hearing my voice, please feel free to come and join us and share it. And otherwise, there'll be a conversation between Randy and I for another.
Yeah, so did you see that some of the Democrat controlled cities are not having July 4th celebrations today? They're claiming that it's because of safety issues. but yet they're tomorrow. I guess they're having other the safety issues due to ice maybe being in there and trying to swoop up people and things like that. Uh, but yet tomorrow and the rest of the week they're having other kinds of celebrations with out the set that fear factor. So the thought is that they don't want to have July 4th celebration because it has something to do with Trump, which is absolutely
If
stupid.
Joe Biden was president today, the man's 84 years old, and I'm sure can remember every fireworks experience that happened in his life. If he was president today, we would be on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. tonight, lighting off everything that they could find. We might not have the United States Army on, well, we would, maybe would. Under Lloyd Austin, we might have the United States Army on display tonight, and you know what? It's just time to get past all of this. There are pyrotechnic companies that do this thing for a living year round. They work with everybody, they give everybody rates, they do some kind of show. So, you're not going to stop people from wanting to go and see something. You're not going to stop people if you do not have a fireworks show. You're not going to stop people from blowing stuff up and having the
Getting
Fourth of
blown
July.
up.
I hope they do it very, 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 very safely. This is a very sad Fourth for us. We lost our cat
Mm.
several months ago, and her celebration of the 4th of July was she would go under the bed and not come out for like 2 or 3 days
Because of the fireworks.
because the fireworks scared the bejeebies out of her.
Yeah.
So, Lola doesn't have to crawl under the bed tonight. She's way up above and safe watching them. And Delilah, our 13-year-old Chihuahua, didn't go under the bed, but she would look and she would shake, and you knew she was scared. And, so she has it easy tonight, too. And I'm sure other people have pets with you. Just make sure that your pets are amply taken care of. Put them someplace else, someplace where they can't hear what's going on. And I don't know where that place is, but do something. Turn your TV set up loud so they can't hear. I don't know. Talk loud, you know. But just make sure everybody has a safe and happy Fourth. You don't have to blow off sticks of dynamite. You don't have to blow off M80s like we did growing up, which was like a third of a stick of dynamite. You don't need that. A couple of sparklers, maybe. Of course, everybody wants to see firecrackers, so I guess it's a given that everybody will have them. But you really don't need that kind of stuff. Sparklers, maybe something on a ladder that shoots up and explodes up open. Colors and all of that stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you get to see all of that stuff. But just be safe. Just be very safe.
You
People have already started. Go ahead, Randy.
I know what we saw the about the warehouse that had the warehouse that was loaded with all the fabrics that blew up.
Yep.
The
And this
last I
was a
knew
factory,
that there
too.
were 7 people missing. Has there been any updates on that?
I haven't really followed it, to be honest with you. I saw it, but I really just didn't follow it because, like Michael Anthony said the other day, or maybe it was you said the other day, they could have taken everything that was in that factory, laced it with whatever they wanted, and sent it to the United States. And they are the CCP. They control that country. And if they, you know, heads are going to roll for this, unless, maybe the trick was
Okay.
they put bad stuff in the air and it's on its way to the United States. And I hope that didn't happen.
Okay,
Good
so
morning,
I so
Bar.
I do see I do see some comments coming through. Just give me one
Yep,
second. Bum
yep,
bum 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 bum
yep.
bum
David
bum.
Novar is here,
Yep.
and because
Hello,
David
Dave and
Novar is
Randy.
here,
Can you
everybody
see me?
will come.
Yes, we can.
Yep, because David Novar is here, everybody will come and follow because Mr. Novar is very knowledgeable and always has the right thing to say.
So
Which
David
sometimes
Nobar
I
is
understand
seeing
and let
us
Randy talk.
on the All Roads Liam Genealogy. Seems to be the page he's on. Let's
Yep,
double check. Yeah.
yep.
Okay,
I,
yeah. All Roads Liam
everybody
Genealogy.
watching, looking for us on my page, go. Well, I mean, you can go to my page, but you and catch the All Roads Lead to Home broadcast of it and bring it to or watch it wherever you want. I'm not sure what
Wherever.
said. I'm not sure what's going on with the link problem, and I have a month I have to finish before I can go somewhere else, and I'm going to find somewhere else where linking is not a
So, and I do see you on Dave Globin's page.
right.
Unfortunately, I can't see Boogie the Bull. United at some point we have like 10 days to figure it
I
out. We
don't
should figure
care.
it out.
I don't care.
But
When
I can
you,
see you under your name.
yeah, oh yeah, you can see it on my. I'm getting to the point that I don't care really where it is. I just want to know that it's there doing whatever it's supposed to do, and it's not always going to be where I want it. It's not
Yeah.
always going to be on my page. It's not always going to be in the. I don't care really
Yeah.
where it. Behind the scenes, there are a lot of discussions that it may not be on Facebook anymore because of Facebook. But if you move it from Facebook to Instagram, you're still dealing with Meta. You know, fortunately I've been able to deal with all the problems that Meta has thrown to me through Instagram, which are basically just you know you shouldn't post the things that you're some of the things that you post on Instagram. And my response was, okay, you're right. I shouldn't, but explain to me why the other 599,000 or billion 999,999,999 other people on Instagram are posting whatever you want and you're paying them.
Yeah.
And the response was, you're right. So over on Instagram, I have two accounts. I have my Dave Globin account, all small letters, all connected, and I have Boogie WT Bull over there, which is the Boogie with the Bull affiliate. Uh, if you are not a follower of mine on Instagram, go over to Instagram and make yourself a follower of Boogie WT Bull because they were very polite over there. But in order to monetize, you have to have 10,000 minimum fans or friends, and I'm way under that and working on that. So if you want to see it on Instagram, we have a lot of work we got to do. And on that note, so my wife can get past me.
Okay.
Uh,
So, I learned something the other day too. This just shows I get so uh, uh, dug down deep with my clients for the ancestry that I lose track of what's happening in the world news. But I know that Trump did a rally yesterday. Turned out really well. But he mentioned that we actually helped to end the war in the Congo. I didn't know we were involved with that.
well,
Um, he didn't indicate as how we ended the war in the Congo. It's the fact that we were involved with it and that we brought it to an end. So
good.
yeah,
I didn't know either, but I think he made a joke, or maybe it was a serious comment, but I think it was delivered in a joking way that we need to end some of these wars that we're in other places that they're not even worth being involved in the war. And to me, the small guys got to unite and make sure they get their seat at the table, as well as the big boys and girls have to unite. And I'm not calling for a one world or a one government, but this war is outdated. Like I said, and I will keep saying, war is outdated. It doesn't deliver really what you want because yes, you may bomb people into submission, but if you destroy their country, then you got to go in and rebuild their country. And why do that?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Back in the day, way back in the day, when we are still building the railroad tracks across our country. Uh, 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 the uh, the people with the money was able to create an atmosphere in this one country that brought us into war because they were able to make money off of the sales of weaponry to the United States government.
Well, they
They
still
were
do.
they were able to sell copies of newspapers because people want to know what's going on in the war. So it's a money making thing, and those who are own the companies that deals with things of material of war. Well, if we are not at war, their revenue goes down unless they're selling it to some other country. But I think Trump's government is one of the ones where we're trying to keep from selling too much to other countries because we don't get too deeply involved.
Right.
And so they're not making the money that they want to be making.
Well,
So they want us to go to war.
but some of the companies that are involved in this raise their prices just to raise their prices, I believe. Your friendly neighborhood gas station is not in war or at war with anyone. They just, because we're at war, they raise the prices. Because it's the 4th of July weekend, they raise their prices. To me, I'm sorry, but that whole raise prices because it's the 4th of July weekend. No, lower gas prices the 4th of July weekend and encourage people to go be with their families again. Not,
Yeah.
when you can, go be with your families.
Yeah. Unfortunately, um, our country is getting to a point where the whole family unity is starting to fall apart. It's like I hate to say it, my own family. I don't drive anymore because of my disability.
Mhm.
My son lives 5 minutes from the house. It wouldn't take much for them to come pick us up and take us over there to enjoy, hamburgers and hot dogs and
Yep,
family conversation.
yep.
But it doesn't happen. Uh, but I hate to say it this way. It seems that Hispanics, for sure, they love getting together with their family and their friends. Last night, for like 4 hours, all we heard was fireworks going off in our neighborhood because the houses are, unfortunately, my neighbor. That's not bad. You need to watch what I say.
There was a
The
time.
the the, the flavor of my neighborhood is very much Hispanic, and they believe in shooting off fireworks for whatever stupid ass reason. And we have a couple of cats who are afraid of the sound. We definitely have a dog
Mhm.
who goes hiding because of the sound. I'm not sure what it is about the sound that makes them
The bang.
cower, but
It's the bang, I'm sure.
it's the bang, bang,
The
bang,
loud.
bang.
But we're not far apart. You're 66. I'm 63. There was a time a long time ago when your parents just said, "We're going. Now get in the car," and you went and you had a great time with family or friends, and then you came home, and that's all
Yeah.
you talked about was, we had this great time. We did this. We did that. Why can't we get back to that? I don't really think we're that far away from it. Why can't we get back to it? I mean, if you don't want to be the classic American family, husband, wife, and 2.5 kids, uh, then then find what you want and be what you want and be happy. But you're an American, so come celebrate, what Americans celebrate. And if you want to come here for the opposite reason, because you want to come here and turn us into something that you want to be here, then stay home. Stay home because we are going to build the United States military to be able to deal with that. And it's very sad that we will have to have war with ourselves. I guess it's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Um,
I I say it all the time. I'm Jewish. I'm bipolar. I have dementia. I have Parkinson's. I have macular edema in my right eye. When they get me into the camp, they're not going to say, "Hey, weren't you?" and make me swallow this pill that turns me into me, but me as one of them doing this. That might happen, but I don't. I don't. I have always said that in a war situation, I feel that I'm probably one of the ones that will go. That when it comes to rounding us all up, that they're only going to want those who are going to be able to benefit them. Hold on, and you know, I don't know, but
hey, you and me are just going to be cannon fodder,
yeah,
if we ever went to war, which is fine because that means we'll be taking the shot before someone else does. I was watching a snippet from the movie Gettysburg,
hmm
uh, and it was Pickett's charge. That's the highlight of the climax of the movie, and um, you know, to line up, well, I think like three or four deep, and that the people in the front, and I don't know how they choose who gets up front. If it's a low man on the totem pole, as far as you got the short straw, whatever. But they line up three deep, and this is for both sides, Union and Confederate. They line up two or three deep, knowing that the first row is going to get wiped out. Okay, you're cannon fodder. Okay, and it's really cannon fodder because the cannons are shooting at you. They're shooting canister, which is a whole bunch of metal shit that they just kind of clog into the cannon. And they shoot it out, and this kind of shreds the people. Or it's the cannonball that blows up, and you lost your leg, you got a hole in your stomach, or whatever. And so the first roll goes down, and then you keep going. And they kept going, and they kept falling. They kept going. They kept. Finally, they got into the sweet the sweetheart territory where the cannons no longer work because they're too close. So now it's the Union guys. They stand up. They shoot their weapons. Again, the first row of the Confederates fall down. The second row of the Union soldiers, they stand up. They shoot. And it's a matter of whoever has the largest number of soldiers is going to win the battle.
yep,
And it's like, God, the you really had to love your country.
you
You
did.
really had to respect your generals to line up knowing damn well this was your last day here on earth.
Yep,
And you can only hope that you might survive a bullet or two or three and that you don't lose a leg or an arm because the doctors don't know what the hell they're doing. All they're doing is just trying to stop the bleeding. But I'm gonna tell you what, I I I'm not sure if I have the uh, I don't know if I have it to. I guess if I had no choice, I got no choice. But watch those movies, folks. I even watched World War II movies. It's the same thing. These soldiers, these men and women in uniform, primarily men in uniform, go into combat because Some people in the freaking White House or in a castle or a palace somewhere says, I want that land. I want that mineral, and I'm going to send my men in there. I've been paying them all this time. They've been getting some nice, clean clothes. They've been getting food in their belly. They got a warm bed to sleep in. Now it's time. They have to pay back, and they're going to go off to war, and they're going to fight for me, and if necessary, they're going to die for me because I want that land. I'm sorry, it's like you said earlier, Dave. There has got to be a better way to resolve our issues.
Well, you want to think that there is, and maybe it's just the way that I was raised. That you sit down and you have a conversation, and you hope you can work out everything, but you can't. So you work out what you can, and then you go back and work on what you can't. Or if you're like me, you sit down at the table and you try to work it on what you can't fix, and then you go back and fix what you can, because that's going to be really easy. But people are just going to do that, and we do have people watching today because it says 48 views. So
Yep.
48 views means that there are 48 people watching who I don't know. So good morning to you.
Well, David Nobar, I just saw the comment here
I
on
can see
EV
David
Mux.
Omar. Yep.
Hey, take notice, Dave, the little squirrely thing is gone at the top of the screen.
What squirrely
That,
thing?
that, that EV Mux thing that was swirling around the last time
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
forgot I paid the $25 to sign back up.
Yeah.
Um, I had signed up before under my other email address, and then I canceled. But then I can't. I realized that I canceled mid billing cycle. So I said if I would come back, they'd give me the difference of the money. And but the account I canceled wouldn't accept my email address, so I had to use the other
Yeah.
email address and so, oh, we can't transfer credit between emails. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Mr.
usually
Rodriguez.
if you have an account and then you leave for whatever negative reason and don't try to work it out with whoever you have, they negate that account, and you're going to have another account if
Yeah,
you go.
that's fine.
And that's all well and good. They don't care. They just
Yeah.
think that you're not going to be who you are if you have to come back on a different email
Yeah.
address. But anyway,
So I spent the $25. We're back on here. I can make things look pretty here. I just don't have the time to learn all the things this EV Mux can do for me, other than the fact that my high definition camera works. So one of
that's
these days, I'm going to have maybe today because of the holiday. Maybe I'll just take today off from Ancestry and just work on some of these things. I know how to make music now, but I don't know how to make just a blast like we did your show today with
yeah.
that blast. I got to try and figure that out, and then get some content together for my hopefully my broadcast for next week. I'm looking for a Wednesday broadcast, but I don't know yet, so don't hold me to it, folks. I
Morning
will.
things. What are you looking at?
You can see the big comment here. You can see the big difference between yours and Dave's lighting.
Yeah,
He's
that's
saying
that's
that
on, that's on our end, and I just have to. Don and I have to sit and try to figure that out because it's showing up everywhere. So it's
yeah.
just something that has to be reset, and my
So,
brain
so, so you don't have a light in your
where
face, right?
like
No.
no. I could put up a pair of sunglasses.
Oh, right there, right there. That's perfect. Keep your hand right there.
I know, but I could have put up a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, but that makes it too dark.
No, no, no. Well, no, it actually didn't seem. Well, I
That,
know it didn't seem like it was too dark. There,
that's a little bit
I,
better.
I could tape that. I almost taped that to the screen the other day, but I didn't want
That's
to
a
do
little
that.
bit too
But I
dark.
mean, I could do that, and that would fix it. I will.
There
We
must be
will.
like a brightness setting on your
The camera, so we have
graphics.
to look around at the brightness settings or something.
Yeah.
The camera, and we will do that right away. Uh,
I know. I've been keeping up with my updates. So, folks, in case you don't know, folks, if you do a lot of browsing, like Safari, the Globy thing, oh, what do they call it here? Jesus, God, Chrome and Edge, folks, those all require updates because those companies add new and improved features. So if you're not keeping up with those updates, you could be having some issues on your computer. So you go into your settings cycle, go
Yep.
down where you find the updates, do the updates. Same with your Windows, folks.
Yep.
Those Windows do not update on their own. You must do that manually. Now you can set them up to automatically do it, but there are sometimes you just go back in, just double check.
Yeah, you still need
Otherwise, you'll run into trouble. I
to
learned.
double check.
I had a good teacher.
So did I. I had the same teacher.
Yeah, we both went to the same class.
Dr. David Novar.
Yes,
He
yes.
told me time and time again, do not put any liquid anywhere near your computer, and I failed that class. Yeah, Randy had to go out because he's laughing. I failed that class. I won't.
Oh my God.
So, short of getting up, walking over and picking the cup up and drinking, or sitting way back in my chair, nowhere near.
Yeah. I remember when I was in school a long time ago.
Yeah.
I brought some candy or some kind of snack into my one class, and I'm here trying to, I got my book up here, and
Yep.
and it was Mr. Rhodes, are you eating something in my classroom? No, sir. Oh, I think you are, Mr. Rhodes. What are you eating? Oh, I hope you brought enough for the entire class, Mr. Rhodes. Because if not, put him in your desk and leave him alone.
Yeah, that's usually the call that worked, because most students didn't come with enough for everybody, or didn't want to give everybody.
When my wife and I went to a Baptist church. I mean, I'm traditional Baptist church. Guy had like 400, parishioners, and he hated distractions. And one day, he shocked us all by this one person was chewing gum, right? And he stopped his preaching and he's pointing out the person, you back there, chewing gum? No. Take the gum out and put it on your nose right now. Or get out.
He got up and left.
And
Or
it
she
did,
got
yeah.
up and left, I bet.
Yeah. He lasted for a while, and then they finally got rid of him. But he was the guy that married us. I mean, traditional Baptist church, Baptist minister. They were in the process of construction and adding on a whole nother building for like classrooms, right? And we were, we don't smoke, and the minister was totally dead set against smoke. And this inspector came in and to inspect the construction, right?
Yep.
And he was smoking a cigar, and minister said, "Put it out." And he said, "What do you mean? You're in my office. You put that cigar out. We don't agree with people smoking." And he said, "Okay, I'll put it out." Then he went around and he looked for every little infraction he could find. And he came back and said, "Your construction stops now until you fix all these things." He pissed off the wrong person. He says, what the problem with your lighting is that your lamp is too bright, or you're too close to your face, or too close to your face. That's why you're... David, I don't think he has a lamp in front of him. I think he said that.
We have to go. No, I can turn this lamp off, and that will make a little bit of a difference. We have to go in when my wife has time to be with me when I do it, or when we do it, because I don't have patience, as we all know. If a link doesn't work, It's a traumatic experience for me because in my radio days, and dementia you remember far back, so you have to bear with me for a moment. In my radio days, it was sit down, turn on the light, turn on the mic, make sure my headphones were turned on. Those were things I had to do. And then grab my cup of coffee, make sure the lid's open, we'll take a shot, and go to work. When the red light came on at the top of the hour, go to work. If a piece of equipment didn't work, I could pick it up off my desk when commercials were going and hand it to someone and say, broke it. And they would hand me another one. And I'm not in that world now. I have to fix things myself or find someone to help me fix things. And, you know, it also adds to the mystique. You can't see my face, so you don't really know.
You know what you,
Everybody sees my face anyway. I'll tell you.
You know what you need to do? You need to go outside. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm a bad boy for saying it.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No. I can't say it. It's racial. I can't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my mind kind of goes back to my old days. But I'm not sure how many people who are. We only shown comments from one person, which is David Nobar. Well, and Dave Glover, but he don't count.
Because he's the only right, but because David Novar is the only person who is in the live chat.
Yeah.
Or there are 47 other live chats, and we don't see what they say in the other 47 live chats because that's the way it works. But anyway,
well, I was I'm not sure how many people who are watching who were in the military or had family members who were in the military, but I was going back every so often. My mind goes back to my parents when they were alive and so forth, and some of the things we did as family. And my dad was in the Air Force 22 years, and we traveled a lot because he kept getting sent here, sent there, sent everywhere. And I think the two places where we went, I as a child, 'cause I was a teenager, I was preteen actually. Enjoyed the most was England. We were there for 3 years, and California for 1 year. And it's an experience. It really is. And we were talking about it. When I was in the Air Force, uh, uh, we had a lady. I'm actually finally taking advantage of my military benefits after my old age. So I'm actually getting life insurance really cheap. But the lady was talking to us about her kids going into the Army and the National Guard. But I think at least every guy should sign up for a military, whatever branch you want, for at least a 2 year mark. Um, Especially right now with Trump in the White House, because right now we're not going to be in any wars. So you be safe going into the military, get in the experience, get in the money, um, and then come out at the 2 year mark, or you might even enjoy it so much that you stay in for another 2 years because they have some phenomenal re-up benefits. They'll give you like 20 grand up front if you do another 2 years or whatever. Um, and right now would be the best time because we're not at war. We're not going to be at any wars. So you'll be safe to do it, and you get the experience, you get the education. You come out of the military, you can put that for most part put that experience to work because you can go in as a aircraft mechanic, a vehicle mechanic. Of course, sharpshooter might have a limited ability to rehire unless you decide to go into the CIA or some Secret Service kind of job. But it's well worth a guy, and I'm saying the guy because military is primarily a guy thing. Women go in and there's jobs for them, nursing, administrative. Some women are allowed to go into some type of military positions. I think right now Pete Hegseth, then he's trying to keep the women out of the combat roles, but more of the combat supportive roles that they'll be allowed in. But guys, gals, if you're thinking of what am I going to do when I graduate from high school, or I've already graduated and I'm sitting here in my mom and dad's basement, eating candy and playing video games, get off your damn ass, join the military for a couple of years. You won't regret it.
Yep.
Now, I will say this, guys and gals, depending on what branch you sign up for, the 8 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks, it's hell.
It is.
Because they put you through the ringer. But the reason why is they have to break you down to build you back up into the man and woman that military branch needs you to be at.
Yep.
So, because I went through it, I survived. I'll tell you this, I was damn surprised at some of the words I learned.
I would be sitting here today as a retired lieutenant colonel in the Marines because I sat with a friend of mine who in California who was a Marines recruiter. He said, if you make it through boot camp, which was over 20 years ago, probably close to 30 years ago, if I made it through boot camp, then I would make it as far as I could go. William Lockett just sent me a message that says he was almost awake for the show. I don't know if that means that he is still awake. If he's still awake, I'm like, well, let me, because this is a two-step process. So as that famous word that we all use, talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
There you go. Yeah.
It's kind of hard when you're the only one. But
so I'm seeing 9 people watching now under this one page. I'm not sure about this. So that one there is not getting rid. Anyone will get rid of that one. No one's watching that one. Let's see. So I can find some names here.
I mean, I don't mean it. I don't mean it in harm or negative to anybody. I will look at my screen, and if it says, for lack of pulling a name and getting somebody upset, but if it says Joe Doofus is watching, I'll go to my screen and I'll say, Joe, you'll have a lot more fun if you come into the live chat because that's what part of this is about. But if you don't want to be in the live chat, I understand. Some people want to just watch. They don't want to be in the live chat.
Yeah.
So they won't come into the live chat. But it is a lot more fun in the live chat because it isn't that I am worried that I talk too much, which I do, but I want to hear what other people have to say. And the more people that are here, the less I will talk.
And if anybody wants to join the show, our rules are very limited. This is just be nice to each other, and no racial comments and so forth. And we'd love to have you on just to come in and chit chat, choose whatever topic you want, and we go for it.
Right. And I even go as far as to say if you have baggage with me or baggage with someone that's going to be on, there are lockers in the green room. Throw your baggage in the locker.
Yeah.
Take the key with you. Come on. And then when you're done, go back to the green room, take your baggage, and go on and have your life. But when you get together or when we get together, we all try to respect each other and try to respect the people in the live chat. Because the people in the live chat are actually why I did this. Because when I started doing this, and I still today don't put the time into finding the articles and researching the articles, because back in the heyday, William said send him the link, William Lockett.
Okay.
Send him the link. Back in the heyday, I was the guy who sat in the middle and kind of coordinated to everybody. I mean, I still had a lot of personality. I got to throw my sarcasm in, when it would fit. But and it's still that today. I want to be, I'd like to have 10 people on screen if I could, and then say, "Hey, William, what do you think? Hey, Randy, what do you think? Hey, Jen, what do you think?" Everybody, and cast it along that way. It's not that if I wanted to be the only person talking, I do my own show being the only person talking. And I have done 3 hours of those before. And it's not that I can't do it. It's no fun.
Just give me a moment.
I have a meme that says Dave knows everything, and when he doesn't, he makes stuff up quick or fast or something like that. And that's what it is. So if you don't really want to hear me ramble about, and I'll start a ramble and it'll tangent into something else, and then it'll tangent into something else, kind of like the show if other people were on. So feel free to come and join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I did want to hear.
Okay, the link's been sent.
What? Okay. What are your plans for Wednesday? Because we do 10 a.m. Wednesday. We don't do anything in the evening. But if you're going to do your own thing, that makes me happy, because everybody who came into boot camp went on to go do their own thing, and it's fun to have people back every once in a while. But I don't want I'm not. The right words are not coming out of my mouth, but I heard you say you were thinking about doing something on Wednesday. The best time I've noticed, as I've said before, the best time is 7 to 9 p.m. You don't have to do that whole 2 hours, but that's the best time it seems to reach people on the FB. I don't know what time works on the others.
So William, look at the link's been sent to you. Just click on it, and I'm not sure what instructions there are to follow to get here.
Click on the link and do as you are told. Back to David Novar, who said the light. I did turn the lamp off, and this is what you're seeing.
There he is.
So there's still a little bit too much light, and it's not coming at me because there's no light in front of me. So I'm not sure what it is. We will figure it out. Everything is working 100%. It's just probably a setting somewhere buried in Chrome land that we have to find. And
okay, we have William Lockett with us today. Let me see what would be a good way to do this. I don't want you on top there, Bobby.
very good. We kind of
there you go. That looks good.
That works.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How it goes, guys?
I kind of like it when we're all the same, but that's okay.
So is that a flag on that door in the back with the guns on it?
Yeah, it's LGBT flag, but it's got Lady Liberty, and then guns, and then beer, and then Trump.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So you're in Alaska. That's pretty damn cool, dude.
That I am. It is.
Wow.
It's a hell of a thing up here.
Now, do they celebrate
no, really
up there, William?
Is what?
Do they celebrate our 4th of July up there?
Oh yeah, we're American. We have a National Historic Park in our downtown area. Maybe.
Okay.
We're still part of the United States.
They're not Russian yet.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, not officially yet, but maybe one day.
Sometime.
Oh my God!
Yeah. We have a big 4th of July thing up here.
That's why Trump is waiting. He's waiting for it to become a red state because of all those electoral votes they will have.
Dude, all we got to do is get off ranked choice voting, and we're going to go red in a heartbeat.
Hey, talk to me. So I'll be back in a second.
Okay, if that happens up there, then I would imagine it would happen very soon.
Yeah.
The only part of the whole thing in that theory that scares me is us welcoming Mexico into the fold. And it's maybe just because we all hear too much about what comes out of there, what is there, but it's already here. We're dealing with it here. We're dealing with it there. And again, it's why can't we just figure it all out and get along. I mean, we're on this one big piece of land. Why can't we just, you know,
Well,
become?
that's the thing that makes communism so appealing to people, especially young folks, because it's the idea of, oh, we have all these resources and we're going to share all of them equally among everybody, and yada yada, and then it never pans out like that.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like, we've had Jen on, and Jen always says, they're waiting for us to explode what we do in Greenland. Why can't we just do that everywhere?
Cha. I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm only I'm a 63-year-old guy who doesn't know anything anyway. But
I'm sure you know a number of things at your age.
oh, I know some things, but anyway, I know I cause a lot of my own trouble sometimes too.
Well, yeah, that's an important thing to know about ourselves.
But and then I get in so deep that I can't get out of it. But anyway, Randy's back. William's here. I'm here. I don't know how much time Randy has left. It's been an hour. I don't know how much time Randy has left, but I did want to get you on, and the only way to get you on was to have Randy get you on.
Well, thank you.
I always wished that I had someone else sitting behind another piece of equipment whose job it was to get us all on.
Yeah, producer kind of throwing stuff together.
Yeah. Producer who does it all, rather than me yelling at Randy, Randy didn't hear it, but me yelling at Randy 5 minutes before it's time to come on. Can you just send another link out? I'm not sure what it is. It just seems that the link that the restream link that I get apparently puts everybody back. If you have a restream channel, puts you in at your own channel. They tell me it's working fine. Then all of a sudden it is working fine, and then it's not working fine. And
that's weird.
As I had said, I'm only here because I had a payment due. I thought it wasn't going to go through. I said it's not going to go through, and then they all of a sudden sent me something and said, "No, we have proof that it went through." So
cool.
So I am back, and I've changed as much as everybody else with everybody else. We all use StreamYard. We loved StreamYard. I love StreamYard. StreamYard was the best.
It's a pretty simple setup. Yeah, I like it.
Right. It was the best. Then they got bought by that bigger company who said, no, now they're going to be our internal type of thing. And they doubled the rate. Well, I had to go somewhere. So we came here, and they seem to be okay. But, now we may not be here, because if you're on Restream, you may have two options. One is $16 a month, but you have to pay $190 up front once.
Yeah, you got to pay the years
a year up front. And for small guys like me, I can't do that.
Nah.
I can't do that. So I don't know what's going to come along. Some days I wake up and I wish somebody would throw two bags of money in our bedroom. And
wouldn't that be funny?
I hand one to my wife and say, please do whatever you want to do, and I'm going to go do what I want to do.
Just wake up with a duffel bag full of $100 bills?
Well, my wife is very smart. I want you to understand that. Everybody to understand that. I want me to understand that. My wife is very smart. And I've stood next to my wife and not said anything before, and things go great. And I go out, I want something, I go out and buy the first one of some things that I want. And, anyway. But,
so since this is Red Shirt Friday, I want to share a little bit of this. I wanted to play the one about Alaska, but for some reason it's not playing, because I figured William is sure he might recognize some of the places, but it ain't working. But this one here is working. So I'm not gonna play the entire thing. It's like maybe five minutes. If you guys can bear with me here for 5 minutes.
check it out.
Okay.
If it freaking shares, there we go. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
There we go.
Where is it at? I can't see it. That's why I gotta probably bring in this. So there we go. Where are we at? Oh, hold on a second, guys. Where is
Okay.
it?
What do you
You
want?
got to include that fourth feed, and then
Yeah, I know.
but
I got too many freaking windows open. I gotta go back to where I can see that. Come on. Stop sharing. Where's it at? Wait. Oh, I know I did. There. No. Where's the windows at?
Right here next to me. The shade's closed.
Ha ha! You're so.
look back there.
Oh, there we go. No, okay. I got it, guys. Come on. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
My dad's wedding day. That's a little bit more. How to get that one in? This is right after one war, but I have no idea what war. Look at that. Ripped up bad. Whoa. It might have been the Korean War. Anyways, yeah. Well, what guys correct me or my memory, or whatever. But what year was the Korean War?
That was the 60s?
60s. So he might have been in the Korean War. 'Cause I was born in 59. So he might have been. Yeah, so those pictures all, obviously were had the tanks and they're all, blown apart and so forth. So it might have been the Korean War. My dad was,
1950. June
Huh?
25th, 1950 is when the Korean War kicked off.
It's possible. He probably, made my mom pregnant and went off to war. It's a man thing. Thanks, son. I'll see you when I come back. Have you ready for more? Yeah, but when my dad passed away, my mom allowed me to take my mom and dad took pictures. I mean, when they both finally passed away, they had like 20 photograph albums full of pictures. plus reel-to-reels and so forth. My brother, he managed to sneak out the reel-to-reel machine, the old reel-to-reel tape players and so forth.
Yeah.
He snuck them out without me knowing about it, and along with the tapes, I got the photograph albums, and we don't smoke my house. My wife and I, we never did. And when I brought them home, oh my God, my mom and dad smoked for like 60 plus years, and the stench from those
The
photograph
whole box
albums.
would just stink. Yeah.
Oh, so I spent days pulling the pictures out carefully. 'Cause my mom, besides the saran wrap that covered the photographs, she also put fucking scotch tape on the back of them, right? So I had to, carefully take off the pictures. So I got the pictures and threw the photograph albums away, and the pictures still stunk. Okay, now guys, keep in mind, for those who smoke, you got to stop. These photograph albums were in a bookcase. They're in this thick photograph album, right? They had this plastic seal over it, okay? And the photograph album stunk. The photos themselves stunk. And so what I did was I spent days with my camera, click, 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 and putting them onto my computer. And then
Digitizing, yeah.
And then from there, I put them onto disc. Well, I didn't want the disc to be, sitting there bored look at these photograph albums, right? So I added the music to it, which I think makes it more enjoyable,
Yeah.
but makes it kind of more complicated to share it online because I'm damn sure I'm going to get nailed for having that music. You watch, I'll get nailed, Dave. But
Best thing
so
you can do is upload it to Rumble and then share it from there.
yeah, or find some way to separate the music from the digital content. I think
Right.
there might be a way of doing that, remove the music part. But anyways, I'll get this. Meta does not own the right to this music in all these countries. Therefore, we're going to mute your video. Well, I don't care about those countries.
But it's like I always say, it's 14 countries that 13 of them you probably don't even know of because they always say Belize and 14 countries. And it's like,
who cares?
well, the people in Belize might care.
Well,
but I'm sure the people in Belize that watch our kind of programming have figured out a way to watch it, or it's not part of Facebook in Belize.
So, William, I don't know if I've ever asked this question the few months that I've known you.
What's that?
Do you have a job? Do you work? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, right now I'm working at a grocery store stocking shelves.
That's right. Yes, that's right. That's right. And I think I mentioned about my dad. He used to make extra money in the military, packing the groceries in bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that conversation now. I finally found how to make music, William.
Nice.
A friend of mine sent me the apps called Suno, right?
Mhm.
And I'm on medication for my back pain, and long-term effects is early on dementia. So I'm getting off of it. I'm down to my last 3 months of being on this damn medicine after 12 years.
Damn.
But it makes it difficult for me to learn new things. But the Suno, once I figured it out, it took me a couple hours.
Mhm.
Damn it, it's so easy to make music.
Nice. That's excellent. You found something that worked for you.
Yeah, it's like holy crap! Damn it! It's AI. You can't tell that it's a computer singing. You can't tell.
I have an AI program I use in my Movavi when I'm doing my video editing, and it sets up the music for me. And you can have it create like 14 different songs at a time, and go through and see which one you want to put in there, and then you can.
Yes, exactly. The only thing I haven't figured out, and I'm looking to get my own broadcast up and running soon, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do the intro like Dave has his intro.
Yeah, I haven't figured out intros either. I know it's a lot of like a slideshow, pretty
Yeah, it's
much.
a slideshow
How
set
you,
to, yeah, it's
yeah.
basically a slideshow set to music. I didn't make mine. Someone had heard me say that I would really like to have one and sent it to me. Uh, but they're not that hard. Well, they are kind of hard only because you got to pick music that sets to the sync of the slideshow.
Yeah, and you got to time everything just
Yeah.
right and that
But
stuff.
because if you look now, I'm close to normal, but that's because I think the batteries are getting ready to run out on this, and I didn't plug it in this morning.
You're close to normal.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is lighting.
Oh. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering that myself because I got my little desk lamp here I can turn on, but
No,
then the minute I turn off my main light, this is what I got, and that doesn't really highlight any of my background or any of that.
yeah. If I could, I would do it in the dark with just the spotlight from my desk being being the lighting that I use. But I just have to find a place to put the lamp. If I could put the lamp behind me, I think it would probably and aim it at the keyboard. I think it would be okay. But
Yeah, I was always told that to put the lights behind yourself. That way, you have the back. It's not in your face.
Right.
'Cause I used to, like, if I turn this light on here, uh, okay, it
yeah,
kind of like,
Like that's not bad, but it definitely illuminates your face more.
yeah,
yeah. And I only have that here because at nighttime, this office gets really dark,
Yeah.
and I got dimming eyes. My eyes are starting to dim, so it makes it harder for me to see. And I work. I start my day around 9:30, unless Dave wakes me up earlier, uh, and I work about till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, um, doing genealogy. The room. Oh, I got a Charlie horse. The room here gets dark because my backyard has all these big ass trees, and they tend to keep the light from shining through. You know what I mean? But yeah, I want to see if I can share something here real quick. Besides working in a grocery store, what keeps you busy in Alaska?
Not a whole lot. Doing a lot of gaming. I keep trying to get my podcast off the ground, but I'm stuck on exactly where I want to take it.
What,
Uh,
what's your podcast conversation going to be about?
I don't know. I want to have some serious conversations. I want to have some not serious conversations. Like I want to get this realtor lady, Mandy Regal, on the line sometime and ask her what she's thinking about the housing crisis in Skagway and how from a realtor standpoint, how that looks. But then again, that's not exactly interesting for everybody. But for me, I'm interested in community and doing
but
you know volunteerism, things like that.
So,
I'm gonna say maybe if you focus on volunteering. I mean, the like you just said, volunteerism in the community, what the community can do, and you aim
Yeah.
toward the community. The rest will the rest will come. I mean, I was the bad guy because I had 5,000 watts behind me, and as long as you could hear me during the day, people were happy, and if you could hear me at night, the owner of the station was incredibly happy. So,
Right.
you
okay, go back a couple paragraphs, William. You want your podcast to be about what?
Um, I want to have conversations.
know,
Right.
I want to sit down and talk with people about things that I feel are important. And one of those things I feel are important is things that are going on in Skagway. I know that doesn't exactly apply to everybody, but then something else that I was thinking about having it on is mental health, because I'm dealing with a ton of things myself, and I know that I use methods that would possibly help someone else out if they don't know certain things.
And Skagway is where you live, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you know, I'm not sure if you probably don't, but when you're talking, thought you were talking about the community as well. Um, here in Lancaster County, we have Amish, Mennonites, Dunkards, and Quakers, and some other religious groups. And the Amish and Mennonites, especially, they're very community oriented, uh, and they look out for each other. They take care of each other. And I don't know if you have any of those living in Skagway,
No.
but wow, I mean that'd be an awesome conversation because um, they they are very family oriented. Mom and dad, the 10 or 12 or 15 or 16 children that they have, they work the farm together. They create a small business where they're doing either selling flowers or that the women grow, or selling vegetables, or selling their fresh meat, or the
Right.
carpentry.
We got stuff like that going on.
I mean, that'd be a phenomenal because that keeps the community together, because you're supporting each other,
Truly. I mean, I'm convinced that if the dollar collapsed tomorrow, that Skagway would be just fine because we run on barter and trade. If I need or somebody needs some PC work done, they can come to me and be like, "Yeah, I'll make you 2 or 3 dinners if you come and work on my
Yeah,
computer."
yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's really big in Skagway.
I
We're
mean,
pretty good
that
community.
used to be a very strong a source of economy back in the day,
Well,
where
yeah,
people did things for each other.
they didn't
Um,
have to rely on having money to be able to do stuff because then they could, just get the
yeah,
service or whatever from someone else and just trade them for it.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. When I'm doing my genealogy, and I'm looking at these people's ancestors going back, it's like the 1800s when they, had cameras, and you have these pictures of these homes, these farms, and there some of them are small, some of them are mid-sized, some are huge. But they didn't have a ton of money. What they relied on was the 10 or 12 kids that they had, farming the 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 acres of land they had. Uh, and they made their money off selling what they had. And in exchange, they did, they got lumber or whatever. They got, each other helping each other to build their homes because they need each other for protection to start with, because the Indians are still running rampant, and you had the others, the French, who still want your land. So you had to come together as a community for protection, for food, and for whatever. Something that I think our country, in some aspects of our area, sorely lacking. I was just saying on Dave's show the other day that Chicago had 14 murders in one
yeah,
day.
oh yeah, that's a normal day, dude. That's not even a weekend.
Yeah, that was on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I've been to a lot of places. I've been to 365 different cities, and I've lived in 6 different states. And Skagway is the one place that I found that actually has that feeling of community that I was looking for since I was like a kid. Kids can ride their bikes in the street around here and no problems. They can stay out late, no problems. Nobody winds up missing. There's no murders. Nobody steals anything. It's it's nice.
well, I haven't seen any pictures of Skagway, but it almost sounds like I wanted to share the damn video from my dad's time in Alaska, and for some reason the damn video wouldn't work. But he had some really neat pictures of the hometown street, and it's during the winter. Obviously, there's a lot of snow shit going on,
Right.
and uh, it looked like a town, like you're saying. It's just there. Um, People, living, taking care of each other. and
Small town
according to
Alaska. It's fun.
yes, yeah. I mean, when you figure how much snow and the cold, you kind of like depend on each other for protection and to survive the winters.
Yeah, it rearranges your priorities, Not everybody's worried about exactly what kind of shoes they're going to be wearing in the wintertime because you're going to be wearing boots. That's what you're going to be wearing.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes the boots had holes in the bottom. It's just
Every now and then,
you just shove it full of newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
That was a fix.
Yeah.
It's a fix. Yep, you're right. It is a fix.
Temporary, not very comfortable, but yeah, it's a fix. I'm pretty sure if somebody in Skagway saw you running around with newspaper sticking out the bottom of your shoe, they'd buy you some new shoes.
Well, I hate to say it, back in the day, women would shove paper,
Oh, yeah.
underneath. Yeah, I look big.
Yeah.
Oh, it's flat now.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember those days. So, not me. That was not me. let's make that. Let's make that very clear. That was not me putting newspaper in.
Randy was not running around padding his bra.
I had a girlfriend I did. Oh my God, I found that out in an embarrassing way.
Happen.
What's this, sweetie? Oh, I forgot that was in there.
Toilet paper?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, the days of dating, right? But yes, I never saw Alaska. I saw New Jersey back when New Jersey was a beautiful state. My dad was told, Sergeant Rhodes, this is your last move. My dad bought this absolutely gorgeous white painted rancher with a white picket fence.
Nice.
It was in Mount Holly, New Jersey. It was a beautiful town. I could walk to school. And I was in like third, fourth grade. So I could walk to school as a little kid, walk home. And my dad bought this absolutely beautiful car. I don't know what it was, but it was a big, back in the day, big ass steel car.
Probably a Lincoln.
No, it wasn't a Lincoln. No, it wasn't a Lincoln. But and then 1 year to the date, he said, "Mr. Rose, we're shipping you out to England. Congratulations, get back in." But the nice thing was that my dad was at that rank where he could take everything with him, including the car.
Nice.
So here we are in England in early 1960s. I'm not sure what your knowledge of England 1960s, but they're still coming out of the war, right? They're still rebuilding. There's still evidence of destruction from Germany's bombs. And my dad never wanted to live on base, so he rented this house, and it's a nice English, small town, Middlesex, England, a small town. And here the American family comes rolling up in this big ass car, right, pulling into the driveway of this home, and the moving truck shows up, and we're unloading all of our stuff, our two full-size refrigerators, right? And people are just like, what the hell? Because they used electric vehicles back in the day. Three-wheeled, battery-operated electric vehicles, right?
Okay.
And so that's how they got around. They had dorm-sized refrigerators because they would go every day to the little store to buy their
just get stuff for a couple of days.
Yeah. And then, of course, Christmas time came, and guess what the big bad Americans did? We decorated the entire house with all different color lights.
Nice.
There was the Santa Claus with the sleigh, right? And here's a big ass metallic Christmas tree with the lights reflecting off of it. And the people didn't know what the hell. They would stop outside our house and just stare at the Christmas tree lights.
It's quite the sight.
It was. But and it took my brother and me as kids almost 2 years to make friends because the British people hated us, and I'm not sure why. I mean, we saved your asses. You going to have that attitude towards us? But so were you in the military at all?
No, I was going to go into the Navy, and so I took the ASVAB, scored like a 98.
That's high.
Yeah, I was like in the top 3% or whatever of the people that were taking it. So I was going to be doing something big with intelligence or something, cracking code or sitting on a sub or something. So the guy was getting me all hyped up to do that, and then I went up to MEPS, come to find out I had a hernia, and I was 4 pounds over the weight limit.
Oh, come on.
So they denied my fucking thing, and they're like, "Okay, come back in 60 days, and we'll try again." And so the recruiter kind of lost interest. And then, like 2 weeks later, 9/11 happened, and he was beating down my door. He's like, "Oh, come on, we can get you in right now." I'm like, "Nah, buddy, that's okay. I think I'll pass. Thanks."
Yeah. 4 pounds.
I'm not on demand, you know. What the fuck? I showed interest and I was willing to do it before, and now that wasn't enough. But now that I
Yeah.
don't want it, you're gonna fucking come and knock down. No, that's okay.
Yeah. When I joined the Air Force, uh, I scored high on 3 different tests, and I forget what I wanted. But what they gave me, what I signed up for, I didn't get. What they gave me because they needed a hold to fill was air cargo, which was essentially loading up pallets of shit and getting them
Schlepping
on the
stuff.
getting them on the planes and strapping them down and so forth. And to be honest with you, I loved it. I went in as a reservist to start with, make sure I was going to like it. I did. But then my damn family doctor found I had a mitral valve prolapse, and he said, "Oh, just
Ouch.
just treat it like a cold, Mister Rhodes. So you don't have to worry about it." Well, that asshole must have told the Air Force because the Air Force found out somehow, and they said, "You're done."
Yep. Damn.
You know. But that's it. It's 11:30 here. I just want to play one song that I created. Um, uh, I actually wrote all the words to this song. Okay,
Right.
and that's it's not the Colonel song. I know
Okay.
Dave doesn't want that one played.
No, you can play the
But,
general one if you want. I don't care.
but I was going to use these. I'll probably make use of them somehow within in the content of my show, but I'm not sure if this software will create a real, what you call it, like you guys have for the beginning of the show. These are like full-fledged songs, but I'm going to spend some time, and I actually paid the monthly. Oh, where'd he go? I
Oh,
guess
he dropped.
I wonder if his computer died.
I think it did. He said he hadn't charged it.
Well, that's kind of. Let's just plug it in.
Oh no.
Wow, so it's just you and me. You
Alrighty
and me against the world.
We just
So
kind of accidentally took over Dave's show for a minute.
yeah, it was this Dave's show on my software. He spilled I don't know if you've heard, but he spilled coffee on
Yeah,
his,
on his
and
laptop.
I feel bad for him because nothing he tries. I mean, obviously he's using his wife's Chromebook or whatever the hell it is,
Mhm.
but when he signs into his Restream and he sends me the link, it wants me to sign into my own personal Restream account.
Right.
I cut by mistake. Okay.
Oh, okay. So we clicked the wrong button.
Um, so I guess I should ask her. He's coming back.
Yeah, shoot him the invite.
Ba-bum. I get my phone to work. Are you coming back? But so his and I don't know why he likes Restream. He also has EV Mux. So he couldn't get his Restream to work to bring me in. So we're using my EV Mux, which I like.
I was looking at using EV Mux myself when I was getting set up. I was like, that might be a cool program.
It is. It does all again. If I ever have the time and the brain cells to figure it out, it does all kind of neat stuff. But the reason why I chose EV Mux is that I had StreamYard, I had Restream, and there he is, and I also was using Facebook Live, but Restream and StreamYard made me pay extra money to use my high def camera, and
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah, they did.
won't let me share, or if I, or maybe it does, I just have to figure it out to share a screen. Because every time I share the screen, I can share it, but then I can't go back to my broadcast. So either it's a fluke on them, or I just haven't figured it out.
Yeah, that's like Rumble's studio they have. I can't figure out how to swap between screens really easy, so I'm just kind of in limbo over
Yeah, and
there.
that's I like EV Mux is so damn easy. It's just click, 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 boom, you're done.
Yep.
The one thing I kept forgetting the first few times was click on the little box that says audio. Because if you don't click on the
Because
audio,
it's your audio, yeah.
yeah, so if you don't click on audio, guess what? You have no audio. Oh my god! So that was embarrassing for a couple of times.
A soldier in gray lies, dying in a cornfield. He knows
This is for
his
my
time
Southern
soon,
friends.
so he calls for the Reverend to pray over him. The soldier asked for the Reverend to take the letter from his vest pocket that he had previously written to his sweet Belle. He makes the Reverend swear that he will see that she receives it. A pretty young lass receives a blood-stained envelope in the mail, and inside she finds the letter her sweet beau had written to her. Young man speaks of his love and devotion to her, and that he had hoped that the two would wed at war's end. But if she has received this letter, she was to know that he died and for the love of his sweet Belle. He makes the Reverend swear that he will see that she receives it. A pretty young lass receives a blood-stained envelope in the mail, and inside she finds the letter her sweet beau had written to her. The young man speaks of his love and devotion to her, and that he had hoped that the two would wed at war's end. But if she has received this letter, she was to know that he died fighting for Virginia and for his sweet bell.
Wow. That was done by a computer.
Yeah. There's a lot of AI programs now that'll let you make your own songs, and one of my buddies at work made one for us, and it was this awesome. He made it like a heavy metal band beat, and then threw in the lyrics for like everybody and what departments they ran, and
Oh,
it came
wow.
out amazing. Came out amazing.
It is, and it has hundreds upon hundreds of styles that you can choose from. I did one just yesterday. I put in 5 words, and oh my God, I can't believe it. Um, I just I just hope I can find an app that allows me to create the beginning of the show as easy because that's
Yeah,
I mean I don't need it to just do the broadcast, but it'd be nice to have
it
that
is
pro.
sometimes.
You know, um, I mean I have this one here, which I used at the beginning.
I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?
So I have that. That comes with EV Mux, right?
Right.
EV Mux has all kinds of neat little things you can do to add to your show. I just don't have the time to play with it. I hate to say it, but I don't.
Dude, it takes
Um,
time too. Editing is a hell of a process.
it is. So, are you
I
married,
tried.
Bubby?
I got a fiance.
Well, there
We're
you go.
supposed to be married at some point.
I got a
We
fiance.
we got together in 2009, so I guess
Wow.
we're married.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So yeah, that's more than 7 years. So does your
Yeah,
state have that common law marriage thing?
I don't think Alaska does. No, it
I know
might.
Pennsylvania does.
Yeah, we haven't even looked into it.
Well, you might want to. She might take. She might get pissed off one day and take you for all half your stuff. Half your stuff.
She didn't try and take me for half my stuff.
uh, but my God, yeah. And my dad, and my mom are married. I think. God, how long am I married now? I think I'm going on like. My wife will kill me. I think we're going on like 38. Well, my son's 35, so 37 years, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So and we're at a point now where we're sleeping in separate bedrooms because she has asthma real bad, and go figure we have 7 cats. Um, so we have and I have 3 cats of the 7. Well, we have my daughter has lives with us. She has 3 cats of her own, and we have 4 cats of our own. And 3 of the cats, there goes Dave again. 3 of the cats,
Okay,
they're
I'm
back.
on again.
So 3 of the cats are, I guess, mine, okay, because they hang around with me, and then they know it's bedtime, and I'll be here like 9:30 at night working on working genealogy, and my cat starts walking back and forth my desk, shoving her damn butt in my face. Dad, it's time. Can't you see? It's time.
Bedtime. It's bedtime.
And so they sleep in the room, and that creates dander, and she can't take the dander. So uh, my daughter, we have a 4-bedroom house, so my wife sleeps in the 1 bedroom, and I sleep in the other one. And I hate to say it, but we're at that point of our age where I'll wake up 9:30, and I'll go over and I'll open the door. Are you awake? Are you alive? Okay, you're alive. Back. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
we're at that point. You never know. Um, I mean, there's sometimes I'll sleep and I'll wake up. It's like, damn, is it? I think it's the same day. It's like, oh no, Dad, it's tomorrow. Like, wow, it's just sad. But
Yeah, time starts slipping.
and go. So my grandmother, when I was a preteen, my grandmother used to say to me, "When you get to my age, time flies real fast. Just you wait and see." I want to tell you what, she did not lie.
Hmm.
So what'd you do for fun?
Oh, normally either game or go explore town. I like to go play tourist. Playing tourist is fun because I live in this place, so I know what there is to see and what there isn't to see and what's open and what's not open. But actually immersing yourself in hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that you will never see again is weird. It's like when I
Yeah.
used to go to Disney World down in Florida. Being able to navigate along the paths and amongst the ridiculous amount of people. Just seeing humanity from that angle is fun for me.
There you go. Yeah, it's I hate to cut you short, but time goes on here, and
Yes,
it's gonna
sir.
be my lunchtime here. We gotta do this again, dude.
We
Uh,
do.
well, I want to pick your brain for more things. I mean, I don't know why, why Alaska, other than the fact my dad was stationed in Alaska, and I want to get this video playing so you can see it. I mean,
It'd be awesome.
I know that place. Yeah, it's still open after 60 odd years.
Right.
But I especially want to show you get those pictures. You can see my dad dumping the 55-gallon drums of shit down the hill. They're probably still there.
Oh, I have the historic district just came out with this awesome little pamphlet, and I want to see if I can get a digitized copy of that to you. Because it's got historic photos of Snagway, and they're all from like 1895 and
Oh
up,
wow, that'd be cool.
like 1912. So yeah, I was like, dude, Randy would get a kick out of these.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, I'll see if I can get that to you.
Yeah, I'll end with this, Dave. I'll cut you out and we'll end. But after doing this genealogy for 10 years, I finally got my first black client. And he's lives in Texas, and he's a good old boy. He's a Confederate, has the whole Confederate thing going on. And I found his second great grandfather who was a slave, and I found his third great grandmother who was a slave. But I also found their owners. So I'm looking to create a broadcast around him, around his great grandparents,
That's awesome.
and bring in the whole thing about slavery. So I'm working on that too. That's a project that's simple. And he said he's cool about it. I was
That's way
hoping he
cool.
would. Here's a black dude. He wears Confederate uniforms, but his great grandfather and great great grandmother were slaves.
Right.
He can get his take on. So he's all about that.
Absolutely.
So Dave, end it. What do you want to do?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. I want to thank William for popping in. I wish we had had more time at the beginning, and you're always welcome, and Randy is always welcome, and appreciate anyone who watched. Dr. David Novar, who was firing tips at me on how to deal with the camera as we're going through, as well as those in the live chat. Whoops, that's the wrong screen. Let me see. Let me come back here, and we did pick up more people. William Grant is watching, and Morris Lee Myers is watching.
Oh, he's my client. He's my black client.
All right. Well, Morris is watching. Welcome to the program, Morris.
He's a fun guy. I love him. He makes me smile, and I want that hat, Morris.
Randy wants your hat. So we'll have to get you on one of these days with, if you have a camera and a bike, we'll have to get you on wearing your hat so that everybody knows what Randy's talking about. But I do have to end it up. We went
there you go.
over, and I've got to.
So I'm going to kick you out.
Too.
Want me to kick you out?
You can kick me out. Yeah, you can.
All right, Randy. We'll catch you later, buddy.
It was great to have you, dude. And I apologize if I picked your brain too much, but
Anytime. Anytime.
I just love talking to new people, learn more stuff. If you don't ask questions, you'll never learn.
Facts.
Take care. So this is Randy of All Roads Lead Home Genealogy, Saint and Colonel Randall Rhodes of the Carolina Gray Ghosts, saying I have 2 openings left on my calendar for Ancestry. If you're looking to find who you are, where you came from, how you came from, I'm your guy. and we have fun doing it. Just ask Moore. She's a good guy. I love him to death, as well as all my clients here on Facebook. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy your 4th. Don't eat too much. And don't forget, it's not about the hamburgers and the hot dogs and the fireworks. It's about the men and women who died or got hurt or came home safe for you and the independence of this nation. Take care.